作见就能来长春碰得到那就是大概见所见别所能见着了本质上见着不有
Until awakening, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Supreme Assembly. By the merits of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Nam Gadan Yambe Sunchen Tamjian Deva Dan Devi Judan Dembra Jurje Dungal Dan Dungal Je Judan Devra Jurus Dunge Mebe Deva Dan Mendra Jurje Nyeren
诸佛正法圣
Chadan
众会，直至菩提，我皈依，我以布施等功德为利有情，愿成佛。
Simchen Damchen Deva Deve Judan Dembra Jurje Dunge Dan Je Judan Devra Jurje Dunge Mebe Deva Dan Mendra Jurje Nyeren Chadan Nidan Danyum La Nebra Jurje
愿一切众生俱乐极乐因，愿一切众生离苦及苦因，愿众生不离无苦之妙乐，永离爱憎，常住平等舍。
May they never be separated from this happiness, which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion.
常在我等觉见小法堂，即是也让
七支供养
所话也给我众生大给介绍，他们皆作别常出全部。
顶礼以及供养忏悔语，随喜功德敦请协助事，凡诸须为善业我积聚，总为圆满菩提而回向。
所希安倍出现没多张日日为人业你的肩膀的三界先得没得不为。 如果那么大限度结不来说，各所用作拉美所能来，只能上送的心一进去。大流浪就那是用心来，拉美就给我做怎多说，我个人的玩着根，人那们着了不的这说。
香水涂饰花朵铺满地，圣山四周日月为庄严。圆念佛刹一座供养故，愿诸众生受有清净土，景象三身圆满上师众，外内弥三真如以供养。无生之财，万物喜受以无上殊胜成就，其次于嗡咕噜德瓦达给尼巴达曼达达帕蒂迦娑哈。
Please grant me the supreme realization, enlightenment. Om Guru Deva Ratna Mandala Pratichaye Swaha.
Samje Namje Sambhada Loye Chedra Jedrava Chechon Temon Teba Enkolo Gurdu So
一切众生之事会根器不同而见之，供与不供大小乘，其情因情转法。
And the teaching come on to both according to the disposition and mental capacities of sentient beings.
感谢各位讲座制作人员格拉格瓦兰主任这边各具仁波切这把南部的大会见证，请老师去见教子前辈应得在美西县马龙家这个用人话，人杰这边直接这么没被老马当把能拉长，自己觉得这算这个真正老不让这都说，多进千万的罗那罗当满没头发，或人几天干个人送的这位老美小。 这句喇嘛也他们就说了，说完就说大句心结了，现在看到顿巴多上的，看到蒙古巴的那么些，土些人先特别那么的， 永在新年农了国家，在老当他们满街王八蛋，家庭老祖去接抽了车我这个能上街上绕都西行得为居住。대단 지지 담배 주님 버리는 식시 남가다 님배 섬제 탐제제 전도 토절라나 매버양 타브로 조고 산지지 공방 담바 진내장 토브라차 디체도 오다 담배 주 사모 퇴바다 삼바 공브르지오 님배 삼바 창준초도 레버를 sab담데 셈버쇼
in order to benefit all the mother sentient beings, and in order to benefit, then in order to attain the all-knowing, the Buddhahood. So listen carefully here for the teachings of the Gongtik.
为了利益一切有情众生，使他们都获得全知的佛智、佛果，请仔细聆听这个正法一义共齐的法教。
对呢，刚切不切哇？到谈别就不把机会用，我听着机因为话，打天呢，那卡上按照从唐本呢从100인치 차상 슈 차와와 다타나 나베 나네 드네 다 슈시 받는 지레 대인도 전에 다도송 스나 총 나반데 조고 드네 상하게 다지 왕 슈출 왕 슈네 드네지 제름당 조름기 냠술렌 술라소바다 드네기 냉가데 송용부여레 대인도 전에 드네 지단게 다 공탐하지 등상의 투주를 배 개침보지 자용부여레 라버도 드네 상하게 좀데 대회장 드네 이제 개치슈로 이제 자기도 염생 가서는 가랑조 상마다지 가르세고래 근데 상하라 배지 가오유베다 강사 장장으로 대인도 지체나 상하게 땜바데 다야기 댄지스나인다 어다 상하게 땜베게 드네 두르자 툴라 파위지레 근데 인도 칸타르 상하라 슈야데 드는 간조 트로나 여바지다 가와 여바 어다 텐데지 슈야라 간조 상가 여바 텐데지 인도 자네 드는 야지 슈탄 칸데지네 슈부군도 슈 철외지게 냠술 렌자데 칸데지 렌도 다 텔라 소바데 셴고야데 베케 쳔부 인도 자네 텐텐조 그래다지 nenga 체와데 된단단디 좀 디나마 송용거와 텐데 인도 자네들은 개체 못하는 지 자비요사래
Now up to here we have had a teaching about the vital points, up to the four units of the vital points. Now, right now we are on the part of the vital points, the vows of the sacred mantras, and usually, and the Gongtik itself is very important when we talk about the mantra part. So, like it talks about the generation stage and completion stage and so on, and it's also very important to know about the sacred mantrayana, especially this time also. And I think it's very important because it seems like it's a time ripening for us to practice the sacred mantrayana, and it is a kind of the dependent factor that we are here. Many people are now interested to the sacred mantrayana, and how the point here is how to engage into the sacred mantrayana and how to practice this the sacred mantrayana. So therefore it's very important to listen carefully and to do according to the what is stated.
那我们这个共齐正法一义，这个吉天充公主师所写的这个金刚句颂呢，我们已经讲了前4品了，现在已经在讲第5品，就是密咒称。 密咒品。那供其是非常重要，它囊括了许多很重要的这个法教包括这个这个生起次第圆满次第，在这个密咒品里面，然后密咒称的这个主要的这个解释，如果我们需要到了解的话，这是很重要的。它也可以使我们的心识成熟以后，便是于修持密咒称。那如今这个因缘和合，有这么多人对这个修密咒称有兴趣，那大家可以来修密咒称。那这个供其正法一也教导我们如何来适当的修持来修行，所以呢，大家应该要专心仔细的来聆听这个供其法教。
베나 징구른 최백이 자와지가 정규유나 베나 dum천도지 듭첸한테 좀 소유나 다지 지라지라 뚜바 제부 고구 말에 든도 상마데 고지 뚜바레 세안도 텐데기 계자지 용구요로와 다 단단데 가르송구요레 세인도 제단 당초 직den기 남주엔 다지 뚜바 자첨부 제야지요로와 그냥 된소 텐다지는 참참 바암에 벨롱주 텐데라 차안도 렌지 된게 뚜바 한다면다 이나 제대 있나요? 추기 돈에 가세지 뚜어봐 있나요? 대점주 쓰는 거 조사 두고요. 지단 자외찬에 최바지 푸나요. 최바 제바 최바 짱마 최바 부가 타고 연다 초지 당와 있나요? 초기 제든 중문에지 신당여 같은데지 풀과 있나 되게 쓰는 거 초도로 나타나는 진코르 고미알라 소베 뚜바든도 상만데 가세 제바지 중앙이나요? 야보레스 좀 생각하나 대탐제대 시법기 댄저도 당지레스 남수배나 진코르배 자제보지 조아이나 대점지 드네 댄데 냠술 렌네 슝켄기 강사라 댄저기 주진 푸숨 조바지 좀 용결에 된 좀 용도 전에
第10个寄送是表一切细论之因缘。
주바 탐제대 밥지 댄저제 때 고레스 댄데 빵고 말에 세대 송말에
Here the 10th Vajra verses, the ritual elaboration or natural dependent origination. And it is quite similar to the above the 9th Vajra verses. It's relating to the 9th Vajra verses. And what it says is usually in the practice of the Dharma, we should avoid like many activities. We should avoid like things which is like kind of useless activities, and we should focus on the point to the all the fabrication has to be avoided, because all these fabrications are actually the kind of concepts, and it's not really the required. Even for the when you are receiving the empowerment, we try to do empowerment in a very short and like in a very easy way. And also if you're doing the dukshan or sadhana, or the practice, the retreat, also we do in a very short and also very easy way. But what Lord Jigten Singh stated is that if that is a kind of the samsaric world of practice, then we should have to avoid that. It's not that helpful. But in case if it is a kind of the Dharma practice, then it's better to extend or better to elaborate as much as possible, because whatever we do, like kind of like accumulation of the practice or accumulations of two path, whatever, and also the mandala practice, if we do it extensively with the elaboration, then it would help the practitioner to go into detail, and also it will help their like inner realization to arise or arise well and also establish well. So therefore, it is very important to have the greater extension or the like kind of elaboration, and because it is a natural dependent factor. So like in the same way as we have stated that, which is we are all dependent factor. Therefore, when the mandala and the talk offering, all it was done like in a very elaboration way, or it will help for the person to achieve their realization and their awareness very quickly. Lasula.
第10季是表一切细论之因缘。那这一季跟第9季上等根器需诵修广轨是相关相符的。一般在当时有一些论调，就是在修习佛法的时候，我们应该避免一些无意义的活动，而把活动集中，不要去搞那些细论啊，或者是些人为造出来的东西。其实在灌顶的过程当中，我们过程应该是简短易懂的。那在闭关的过程也应该是开始应该是呢做时间短然后易懂的简易的这个闭关。那吉天松公主是在这边的解释是，如果我们从事的是轮回的这个活动的话，那在修持的过程当中应该要避免。但是如果我们是修持佛法的话，我们应该尽量的详尽，比如说供曼达呀、这个回供等等呢，可以用比较这个仔细、比较懂这个过程、这个法本。这样子一来呢，可以帮助我们修行者的能够这个更加的仔细，并且呢帮助内在的这个正悟比较容易升起。所以呢，能够修比较仔细的这个法是，这个修法能够比较仔细是很好的，因为我们是彼此的这种因缘法，我们也是其中的一个缘之一，所以在供曼达的时候、被供的时候，如果能够仔仔细细的来做，能够帮助我们能夠理解，也能够帮助我们更加的快速能够达到正悟。
한번 훈련을 주라는데 분파 동바지 계셔스 다 분파세 되는 것도 단다 왕나에 분파데 지부 말에 자기 롱발라 출루세게 너 참말 분파세게 된도 출루세게 너 침부터는 계셔스 동바지 그런 게 주라는 처음 배탈럼 제고스 근데 송도 nenjur바게 근데 잘보야 너 람상 차리나 되더니 라마 되게 너 동배나마 라관데 잡네 너 동배나 라관데 지나마 루네 근데 야한테네 처음 탑람 데레스 라보통 받을 때 말다 때때인도 전에 근데 자포페 콘트로사다 이가는 고고 배당도 섬네 가연사는 거 근데 탑람 가연 때야면도 다가서 시기도 섬들 자포 콘트로사 내줄 버전 하나 주의다 지난 내줄 받을 때 또반 통부인 게 되지 인사래 이나 전 하나 주의자 버려 근데 내줄 받을 게 로마 망보 요사라 근데 콘조게다 코란조 라마들 라서로 봐 근데 계좌팅인도 전에 절부정하는 요 하고도 대하 고인도 전에 로마텐솔 절부기 초란족의 라마데기 난고고 땅용도스 딱 계시 초란족 라만데 소라 년카메와 지dan 전칸하는 치로로 땅구요나 초란족간에 치워면 탈럼지 땡고 그래서 대땡 두고요나 되는 간족이 딱 초란족 라마데 땅초스 대송바래 대송인도 전에 nenjuru 받은 속인 되기레스 근데 잘보러 답에 dun성기 찡코로 다 제바 초가 제바 다 분파당 제당 요제 뭐부 차상 좀바지게 돈은 잘보러 왕그로 버다 왕 제바 그로요 왕 rem바 진도 그런도 전에 잘보게 왕 집에게 된도 또 용거다 왕 집에 된데 돈이 찾아 챙기고 되는 봐 대또 용도 전에 근데 잘보게 lama thambu te nga ngone nelu de ten du de yinenge hakumundu te nga nondu sambarda te lame thambu kana ten sarwa chue thamje la ji tongba ni res ten barwa no tongba chi na la wa tongba ten barda in the review hakoyo mare ta ti jumsenge chi su pena famma ten zo ge kunzo tuba jebu zo tablamda manda chine kale jarbote ya semge toba de ya kompre cha sundu tane tene chaja chimba nelu toba da nyamdu mumege tenda de hakoyo mudo tindu tane tuba se ya de goya ge jumsen te de tuba thamje phaji tenre se ya de nenga tende jiba tu yu sare.
So like as we have stated that elaboration around natural dependent origination, it's very important to have when we are having empowerment or drupchen or retreat, it is required to have the elaboration of the mandala and extensive, all the substance, all has to be accumulated. Because what it says, state is that the outer tandil or outer dependent factor is there, then the inner dependent factor is accomplished, because these are all dependent upon each other, inner and outer dependent factor, all these. So for example, there's a story once in India before, there's a king and his mother, the king's mother, he saw his mother crying all the time. Mother, why you are crying? And she said that one day you passed away, and I'm very worried about the of your day. You're going to the death and so forth. So then the king thought, and king asked to the mother, what would be the the solution for that? How to come up from the death? How to, Then mother said, maybe, I'm not sure, but you can ask someone nearby our palace. There is a one Mahasiddhi, then you can ask him, maybe he might know. So then king sent his minister to find out that person. They found that person who is yogi, and they asked him, show me the way how to come out from free from the death, how to become the deathless. Then this yogi brought one kind of vase or one container. That time in India, all the container are known as vase. So what he did was, he brought an empty container and he put his hand like this, and he took out his hand like empty hand like this, and he said, this is the deathless, which means actually he's showing the emptiness. But that time the king didn't know anything about what he's doing and what he's trying to demonstrate. So the king got very angry because he thought he was cheated, and he asked his people to put into the jail, and this yogi was put into jail. And after some time, the disciples of the yogi came and tried to search for their masters. They couldn't find a master, but somehow they came to know that their master was put into jail, and because of the reason why, also they knew about why the king put him into the jail. So then they thought, and they talked to the king and the minister, and they said, so your master has been lying to us, and we need to get out from the death and to become a deathless. So then they thought, so we should have to make it, we have a solution, we'll try to give you the solution. And they made all this kind of the mandala in a very extensive way, all the kind of substance, all the kind of, the empowerment, the first empowerment, second empowerment, third empowerment, and fourth empowerment, and so forth. And what happened was, with this kind of extensive kind of the rituals. When the king reached to the fourth empowerment, he was able to recognize, he was able to enlighten himself, or aware that he has a, like, he was enlightened, and he was actually come up from the, like, the dead. That means then he also realized that from the very beginning, that the yogi, when he put his hand into the empty vase, empty container, and take out his empty hand, it actually shows the meaning of that, the fourth, the empowerment, that is the emptiness. So therefore, from this one, it is stated that it is required the extensive kind of rituals or elaboration of the natural, elaboration in the practice, in the, like, it becomes a very supplementary for one's own practice. That's all.
那在这边讲到说，细论或者是因缘，在我们这个在灌顶的时候，或者是逐渐闭关的时候，我们应该好仔仔细细的把这个坛城设置的很完备，然后准备各种供养的这个物品，那这个都能够齐全，这个是很重要的。因为如果说我们外在的因缘具足的话，那么可以帮助我们内在因缘的成就。因为内外彼此是相关的。这边讲个故事，过去在印度这个有一个国王，他看到母亲在哭泣，那问他母亲为何在哭泣，那王母就说，我看到有一天你过世的时候，我很担心你最后的那要死亡之日，我就非常的伤心难过。那我解决的方法，这个王母说，我不知道，或许这个可以问我们国内有大成就的人，所以国王就让宰相去找到这个瑜伽士，然后去询问他如何能够避免死亡，能够成就无死。那瑜伽士就拿了一个容器，一个瓶子、花瓶，这个水瓶之类的。然后拿了一个瓶子，然后把手那个放到这个空瓶里面，再把手拿出来，然后打开手是空空如也，这个就是无始的意思。但是当时那个国王不了解他这个意思，而就很生气，那么把他放到那个监狱里面。那瑜伽士的弟子后来在找他们的师父，到处找不到，才听说原来他被关了，然后知道就是去拜访这个国王，后来宰相告诉他们说，因为他欺骗了我们，欺骗了国王，什么叫做无死？弟子说那如果是这样子，我们有解决的办法，所以他们就准备非常繁复的这个坛城种种供养物，然后给予国王及灌顶。那当他们进行到第4级的灌顶的时候呢，那么这个国王几乎要证悟，快达到证悟的境界了，那么他才了解这个瑜伽士把手放到一个空瓶里面，再把手拿出来，打开手是空空如也，原来是在教导他空性的道理。所以呢，这个是一个例子，就是我们繁复的仪式，这对我们的修行是很重要的。那它对我们的个人的修行是一种补充补足的一种方式。
And now another example is that in the past, the great translator, great master Marpa came to India 3 times. And when he come back to Tibet, he has many disciples, and among them there are 4 more important. That's Milarepa, Ngoktin, and Miten Tsombo, and so forth. Miten Tsombo means Tsombo usually means like he must be a kind of a pat person. So he was also known as Tsombo. The place of the Meten Tsombo, they were going to make a talk offering. That time, the Meten Tsombo requested Marpa to do the very extensive kind of like a so-called feast offering, because he was asking that you have been to India, and though you must be tired, but somehow he requested the Marpa to do an extensive kind of feast offering. And he said, and also for the future, that how our disciple would able to have good example to do the feast. And also you have done this one extensive feast offering in the presence of the Narapa. So because of this, when they did this very extensively, and Meten Tsombo said that it really helps. It really touches heart, and it really helps him to dedicate his all kind of the practice, and it really helps for his mind, for the faith to increase, and also to trust, and also it is very good for the practitioner to realize their ultimate reality. And also it helps to change their mind, transform their mind.
那么这边还有一个例子，就是过去在马尔巴大医师在的那个时代呢，他曾经到了印度3次，然后再把这个法教带回西藏，所以他有4个主要的弟子，分别是米日日巴、伯丘、梅通甘谦波，或者是以及楚敦、旺给多杰等等。那么这个那时候呢，这个梅通甘谦波呢，这个就是就祈请这个马尔巴大师给予一个带领他们做一个繁复的这个会供。那么因为也他们说你们对你自己的上师那罗巴大师也是做的一个这样子反复的会供，那这样子呢能够帮助他们这个升起信心，能够帮助行者能够晓知这个改变他们的心事，然后能够得到究竟的这个证悟。米勒日巴就是得到他渐修行全部传承的法教，我丘就是领受的天法传承的教义及行金刚密续的特别教授，梅通谦波领受的光明瑜伽，楚敦汪给多杰领受的千世就是破瓦法。第11季金刚身为甚深之坛城。
So what it means is that usually when you talk about the Vajra body, when you talk about the Vajra, it means it's unchangeable. And Vajra body here doesn't mean our body with the blood and flesh and so forth, but rather it means about the empty nature of our body. So that no one can destroy it, no one can change it. And the Dharmakaya, all Buddhas, the Dharmakaya. So it was like, here it was mentioned here, means it is like, it was taken as the profound cycle, the profound cycle of the Vajra body. So this profound cycle of the Vajra body is that the Dharmakaya of one's own body. So that means the really nature of the empty nature of our body. That's all.
那么第11季金刚身为甚深之坛城。当我们讲到说金刚身在这边，金刚一般指的是不变。那我们讲到金刚身，并不是说我们这个血肉之躯，而指的是我们身体的这个空性，这是无人可摧、无人可改变，就是如同法身一般。这个是诸佛都是法身的显现。那么这个是一种这个甚深的这个身体，这个甚深的层次的意义。那肉身当中的法身的特质，它也就是它的空性。
송게 내루디 얘기 말이에요 송게 대체도 전에 만들 사버도 빼나지 다 등산으로 지나 또뭐 검야라 빼 돈한 첨부 연계 망보여래 왜세 검야라 돈한 첨부 챙게 망보여 줘그래 줄류 검야라 돈한 챙게 망보여 줘그래 차제 첨부 되는 검야라 돈한 연계 빼 망보여로 대유도 전에 되네지 tenso korgi pecha tenso ngone ta dinane ma sheje wana shin ji chene o ta nga chasang ji nge chetu yu sambayina tin norware sumbare tin du karisana jerimdang zorim la sobegin nenga mangboji lamegi shanne la june nyene nyamlen chegoya ji re tin sa dorjin changi beju yore sumbare 배워서 가르치는 배제버려 도진 창배 선화진부에 좀 생고는 상하게 내가 배버려 왜서는 말했어. 지 된도 배고에 좀 생각하스나 상하게 추여서야 돼. 아, 드는 아주 롭신 현다던 되게 말하다. 등산 개전도 있나. 우마 다양한 되게 말해. 우마 양 배찬도 집다 드내지는 갈아간다 이제 하고도 그래. 대나신 드내지 세말라서보다 용된소 제대로지는 고소수도 배쳤다. 근데 상관하는 테스트를 신으로 이내양 오늘의 제름도 조름기 냠랜당 차생기 냠랜 지답에 차신 차와 10회기 내수도 상관데 지 배체 돈은 것도 니 두 말에 라메기 냠용그 돈을 포말라 떼고야 지기로와 티인도 전에 근데 내론 가시 노르진 장기 랑신기 배치 바래 서야 대된 바래
So now here the 12th Vajra verses.
12季某些实相金刚持隐藏。
So it means like when we talk about the nerves, the vein energy, the nerve, the channels, and also the bindu or the tikle, the energy, and also the generation practice and the completion practice and so on, which was ascribed or described in our books or in the scriptures. What it means is that it is not fully demonstrated in the text. There are some hidden points. There are many hidden points there about the channels, the vein energy, and these are hidden by the Buddha Vajradhara. For example, there are many people who practice the heat and the clear light practice, and also the like illusory body, chakchen, all these we practice based on the text and without taking the expert or the experienced master. So what it means here is sometimes this is danger. Therefore, it has been hidden. So therefore, we have to take unnecessary instruction from a very experienced or expert lama or the teacher. We have to take from them because it is kind of hidden there. So it's not like studying like a umma means like the middle path, middle way, the practice, or not like the logic, the tema. And the practicing for the generation stage and the completion stage, the subtleness, the deep subtleness of the practice of the generation stage and completion stage is not something like that, like studying the Umapa and Uma in the middle path and the logic and so forth. It has to be acquire the knowledge from the master who really have the experience and knowledge and who is an expert, who is the master of such kind of practice. That's why it is stated that some topics are hidden by Vajradhara. That's
it.
在这个第12季，某些实相金刚持隐藏，那这个是讲说，有的时候我们讲到的气脉啊、明点啊等等这种力量呢，不管是升起次第、圆满次第，那我们在这个典籍里面是有一些描述，但在这些典籍里面的描述并没有那么全部很仔细的这个描述。那这边才说，因为这些气脉明点的这些能量呢，是在金刚持把它隐藏起来。那有些人是按照这个书本来修持明点啊、明光啊、着火啊，或者是立断啊，或顿超等等，那并没有去有一个真正的一个名师来指导，这是很危险的事情。对于这种样的修行，我们应该要从是个跟随这个有经历的上师来学习，这才对的。因为这种学问、这种修行，不是说中道啊、中观因明的这种学问可以书本中学习的。
So, therefore, like for example, it's for this reason, if we were interested into the practice of like all these kind of the inner practice, the heat, the clear light, and so forth. So we should not just practice just by looking on the text and just go on, and not just the teacher who can teach you, but he himself is not in a position to understand the meaning of it. And when you really need to practice it, then you have to follow the master who have really mastered about these teachings and practice, and who could be able to demonstrate or who could be able to show all these teachings with their experience, and who has really have a great experience of that, and not just by the text and the word, but rather with the meaning and its experience.
那么特别是修这个升起次第圆满次第的修行，有很多维系的部分，那我们应该要去寻找一个不但是知识渊博，更是有个人修持这方面有修持经验的上师，这个才是比较好的一种方法。所以说像这边呢它的一些这个比较隐晦的意义被金刚持所隐藏起来。所以如果我们要对这个修持我们的这个内在的这个着火啊，或者是说明光等等的这样的修持，不应该只是依照典籍来修，也不应该只是去找一个知识渊博的老师，而没有亲自经验的这个老师，这样是不够的。我们方面有大成就的这个大师，这样子你在学习的过程当中，他可以把他自己亲身的经历来指导你。那这点我们这个能够有这个对这个意识的了解，以及再加上亲自的这个经验，这点是非常重要的。
상하 균을 송송여로와 레당 센도산에 텐솔라 자롱 텐솔라지 주체당 계획쇼인도산에 계획 설탕게 레가 근데 본 된수르게 레가 텐솔라 레 송여로와 근데 노수르스도 자롱게 내추르와 대인도산에 텐데게 레당 내추르 텐솔데 근데 제단 상하게 나라 송여로데 사버도 매기 주기 나라 앞에 시작한다 요래 스티치도 전에 이제 송고 송바이나 지 추루 된소 냠내 난 ken기 나한테 간사이나 매기 돌아 냠용 연ken지 대야 된다는데 산지기 송배가 좀매 주유로와 오다 된소 나는 송배 되는지 라렌 된소라 대선 첸켄지 요바이나 근데 자당 롱기 킥세술라서와 달라 근데 강에메 와서 차도래 스티인도 전에 레던 두순가 셰지 매기 주는 사보요래 스는 송바래
Here the 13th Vajra verses, some treatment and explanation of physical condition and more profound in the medical tantras. And what it means is when you practice about the secret mantra, there are many like cases like you have to practice through the channels and the vein energy and channel and vein energy. So when you practice about the vein and channel energy, sometimes there comes a problem of the defect of our channel and the vein energies because of not knowing how to engage into the practice. So therefore, one should have to have the understanding of when we are having this kind of problems, how to maintain it or how to treat the channel and the vein energy and so forth. So therefore, it is very important to have, we should know the status of the channel and the vein energy, how it functions and how it works with the energy and body. And these kind of things, like how the vein energy exists and how it functions and their status is clearly mentioned, and it's even more profound if you look in the medical tantra, so medicinal tantra of the medicine. So therefore, it is stated that if we are really interested in practicing of these people, we have to have at least go to the masters who have this kind of understanding of the science of the medicine tantra. And in this medicine, through the medicine tantra, since it is detailed there, since it is profound there, it will help us, help one get rid of all this kind of complication.
第13季，某些事业做之要续生。解释，那这边指的就是说，当我们在修密咒称的时候，我们必须要修气脉。那如果在修气脉的时候，有的时候这种气脉的这个起的一些反应，这些作用，但是我们不知道因为如何来修行，所以当问题出现的时候，也不知道如何适当的来处理。那么气脉、明点等等这方面的问题，我们应该要知道说脉的这种不同的组成阶段、气的能量、它的作用跟它的状况等等。那这一些在一些医疗的典籍上面有比较详尽的解说。所以我们如果我们在修气脉的时候，应该也对这些医药的这个典籍要有相当的了解，并且去就教于对这个医药典籍有了解的这个上师，才能够给我们比较详尽的这个指导，因为这些医疗的典籍上面有写的比较仔细。
류게 되는 내절당 류 소설대 나게 줄라서 달에 민기 종데 배 근데 인도잖아요. 되는 거네지 다시 줄을 팽겐 남배이나야 간들 민종데 됐지 고도당 냠용요 같이 공도 센터에 송래 송도 어디 인도잖아요. 단단디 자완디 레던도 술 것이 민주사업 세야다 대신에 송발해.
So why did Lord Jideswin stated that there's some treatments and explanation of the physical condition are more profound in the medical tantra is that there is a text called 8 branches of the medicine, or 8 points of the medicines, which was composed by one of the great master, Indian great master. His name is Paul. The Paul means the Veera, and in his 8 points of the medicine tantra, which is related to the medicine tantra of the Buddha. So from the tantra which was stated by the Buddha, and there it talks detailed about how we can preserve our body and how we can maintain our body and how to kind of heal our body if it is in a complication, how we can overcome the disease. For example, if your lower part is kind of in a disorder, or your upper part of your body is in a problem, then how to heal that, and also or how our body is functioning according to the complication, the situation, and how we can come out and how to heal that. So these are all stated in this the medicine, the tantra detail, and in a very extensive way. So that's why, since Lord Jigten Sungyen has seen that text, the tantra, that's why he expressed that if somebody who is in a retreat or doing this text practice there with the practice of the nerves and channels, he said it's also very important to look at these medical tantras, which ascribes about the body and its functions, its nerve system, all this in a very detailed and very extensive way.
那为什么我们可能有个疑情呢？为什么吉田中公主是要这样子写，说要我们去医药的这个典籍里面去找这个解释？在这个过去有一个印度的个大师大波瓦。那他写的一个医药八支的这个典籍，相传是由药师佛所传的。那他在这个典籍里面讲到说，如何来保任我们的身体呢？我们要维持我们的色身，那么治疗我们的身体。那有疾病的话，要如何医治等等，并且有提到，如果上半身有问题，或者是下半身出了问题，他们是各自是如何作用，那如何要各加以治疗的。那在这些医药的这个密序里面，有对于身体的作用、气脉，包括在里面有比较详细的解说，所以相信这个吉田松公主是应该是看过这些典籍的，所以她才说，对于闭关的行者特别要是修这个身体的部分呢，应该要能够了解这个神经啊、气脉的这个作用，所以应该去看这个医疗的这个典籍。
Jumsen Karchin de Yuresana Chura, Sosu Tarbe Domba Yang Tabaji Jula Machibaina, Tene, Chandum da, Naudum Jula Jet 2 Mares, Domba Yinchi Minchi, Chandum da, Naudum Jula Jeguyana, Tambo Sosu Tarbe Domba de Guyuva, or today. Then I send to Teneta than the Pena Nyamling Rambanda, which is some Tamayana. Chiwa Metapa say a take it on and Zuji, some and Joan with this, Yatang Matobaina. Tene Jerem Gomba, Zorum Gomba Lasobat, and so young, Chichana, Jitank, and Chibotaya, Yamendo, Chandra, and Yankayungurua, or Tizane, and Jendagi, Mezapran, Debatanzo, Nimpertus Zapore, Pekachimures, Tinduzane, Tenichi, Womatanzo, Chewa Segure, Sungere, Tonan Shuk Chewa Chigure, Sungere. Temato, Tenichi, Tadandi, Sosoter, Dombala Sobatan, Tenin. Tenjun Niekawa Gombala Soba, Chanju, Sem Gombala Soba, Tenzolo Tonashira, Majevache, Ta Sangagi, Yedam Gala Gom do Yusene, Plantaman Gom de Vaina, 대테네 직체나 낭베게 냠네 인다면 태숨 창로다 송여래 그래서 낭베 냠네 인나 잠루던 저가지고 그러와 대체기 냠네 인나 심지던 저가지고 그러와 근데 잠루던 심지니 매서와이나 플라금 데바테야 남바당 대체기 냠네는 주투 말레스 오 텐데 인두자네 tensupe 개침벌에 대송벌에
The 14th verses, what is not profound for others is profound here. Here the others
必须不生之意时续生
because we think that, for example, like usually what we think is like for example, the individual vows. We take individual vows inferior or lesser important than that of the compared to the mantrayana vows, and also we take like the refuge and bodhicitta as a like for example for example the practice of the importance of the human life and the difficulty of getting the human life, the practice of the impermanence of life is not that important compared to that of the practice of generation stage and the completion stage. We take it as a very high, and like Chakchen and so forth, we take it so high, and we look down upon the individual vows, and we think this is like kind of a lower scope. But what Lord Jigten stated is these are very important. It's the most important one. For example, without having the individual vows, we cannot have the Bodhisattva vows and the Mantrayana vows, because the lower are the basis for the higher ones. So therefore, the most lower one is more, you have to be given more important, because it's a basic, it's the base, or it's a foundation. For example, sometimes people say that, oh, bodhicitta, it's not that important. We have to go to the practice of the mantrayana, the practice of the. So this is completely misunderstood. For example, we don't practice about the refuge and the generations, the motivation, the altruistic mind, but rather you go and practice the highest point of the practice of the Tantrayana. So what Lord Jigten stated is that without having the bodhicitta or this kind of the three refuge and so forth, we couldn't have the practice of the Mantrayana. The Mantrayana practice, or the sacred Mantrayana practice, is complete purely based on this kind of foundation, the foundation of all these individual vows, the bodhicitta, and also the refuge for the Buddha and so forth. Therefore, it is stated that what is not profound for others is profound here. Plus.
所以第13这个14偈必须不生之意此续生。那吉田松公主是在这边讲的是说，这个一般人会认为说别解脱乘的东西，别解脱戒，那是或许以为这个是比较低的层次，比起这个密咒乘来讲是比较低的。那有些人会认为修皈依啊，皈依三宝啊，三皈依啊，那个菩提心啊，这个也是比较低层次的修行。那人生难得的这种思维也是不是那么样的重要。那什么是比较重要呢？有些人认为是修这个生起次第圆满次第啊，或者恰欠等等的这种修行方法是比较高的。那对于这个见解呢，吉田松公主师讲说是不对的，因为刚刚所讲的这一些根本的修行是很重要，甚至是更重要的。没有根本的别解脱戒，那不能有修持这个 个菩萨戒或者是密咒称戒的，因为这些都是根本。那对于就说菩提心的修持不如修持密咒称，这也是不对的见解。因为如果我们不从皈依三宝利他发心，然后再来就马上要去修这个自己认为更高的密咒称，这个是不可能的事情。因为没有这些菩提心三皈依来做基础的话，那不可能修密咒称的。那密咒称，因为密咒称是以这个皈依三宝比丘托戒为根本的，所以没有根本不可能修下一个层次、下一个阶段的修的法门。
ko pe pendo chimbo yo wachi cha tu res te ma do dangbo gone tongni de woji gom de ba yina te gi tene yang ji tarwa thola pen dan no ngo chya yo ma res tene yin du zane lam ge zawa de pe tembo ji go res na song do ta tenzo dan tene tan tene ji den song go song ba do sama tenda ji ba re
So here, for example, like if we have a hat and the shoes, if you compare with the hat and the shoes is lower compared to the hat is in the topmost of our head. And it's very important to have a shoes rather than to have a head, because if you go somewhere without having shoes, you can't do anything. You need to have a shoes. Whether you have a head or not is a different thing. It is like you have to need it. It is not a question of you are lower or you are higher. It is a question of what is the most necessity. So therefore, in the same way, these individual liberation, the vow and tree refuge and so forth are very important. For example, even if you are making a house, a building, the foundation is very important. Even in India, when you are making a house or building, the most of the budget goes to the foundation, because we have to make a solid foundation. If you have a very good foundation, then you can build up how many story building you like. Or otherwise, there's danger. If the foundation is not in a stable, then there's danger. Anytime it will collapse. And also, like, for example, like kind of a tree, the root of the tree must be a very confined, very firm and very stable. And if the root of the tree is very healthy, it will bring out the healthy leaves, and also the fruits will be, it will give a very good fruits and flowers and so forth. And in the same way as, for example, one of the masters of Kadampa, known as the Patwa, what he said was, whatever you do, the first and foremost is very important to have the understanding of impermanency of the life. Because if you have impermanency of your life, then whatever you do would be meaningful, because you would not do which is not necessary. You can only go for what is most wanted and most necessary. So after having this kind of consigns, the impermanence of life, then you go for the loving kindness and compassion. Because if you good practice of loving kindness and compassion, then there's no difficulty doing the help for the other sentient beings, help and benefit for other sentient beings. If you have a very like a genuine loving kindness and compassion, and after that, then only you can go for like kind of practice of the Chakchin or emptiness or Mahamudra or whatever. Otherwise, if you go and practice Mahamudra or emptiness or whatever, it is not sure that you're not confirmed that you're going to do something good or bad. We never know, because you might have a like kind of end up in a mess up for the like a kind of problematic situation. So therefore, these kind of like kind of stages, the more the like kind of the lower stages are the more profound, because this behaves, or it works as a basis for the higher practice. That's all.
네, 돌송 종합하되 매 잘론다메 상면자 송도와 대매 성도자네 단도 공도시 같은 소리 낭베 텔라 줘야게 잠로 대쟁게 텔라 줘야게 장주게 셈 상하게 텔라 줘야게 왕
那么这个继续讲说，举一个例子来讲，我们帽子是戴在头顶上，鞋子是穿在我们脚下的，所以就由位置来讲的帽子是比较高，鞋子是较低的。但是从重要性来讲呢，鞋子的重要性是远大于帽子的，因为如果我没有帽子，我们还可以出去做事情，到不同的地方。可是如果没有鞋子的话，我们就没有办法走到其他的地方去了。所以重点不是在位置的高低，而是它的重要性如何，它是不是对我们修行来讲它的必要的一个条件。那在盖房子也是这样子的，地基是最重要的。在印度盖房子，大部分的这个钱都是花在盖地基的准备，因为如果地基不稳固的话，房子就危险，容易倒。
Without those foundation refers to that the refuge and bodhicitta and so forth. And without that foundation, one does not attain Buddhahood through the instruction of the channels and energy. So what it means is like, without having all this kind of foundation, like individual practice, for example, the three refuge, in order to engage into the path of Buddhism, and also the bodhicitta, to engage into the like bodhisattva yana, and also the empowerment in order to engage into the mantra yana. So without having the basic foundation, just by practicing the 6 yogas of Naropas doesn't make you a Buddhahood, doesn't take you to the Buddhahood, because you are missing something else. So therefore, the bodhicitta, the refuge, are the foundation for like practice for all these kind of higher stages. So the lower stages becomes the foundation for the higher stages. So therefore, without those foundation, one does not attain Buddhahood through the instructions, through the just instructions of these channels and energies will not take you there. If you miss all the foundation of refuge and bodhicitta and so on.
那么这个树的根本，树的根系也是很重要。我们有很健康的根系的，才会有健康的叶子、花朵跟果实。那当时的噶当派的这个大师呢，波托瓦他讲到说，我们修行当中最重要是对人生无常的这种了悟。如果对这个有深刻的了解的话，那行所做都变得更有意义的。我们了解到什么是最重要的，什么是必要的。那了解了慈悲心的话，那就可以容易的来帮助其他的众生，甚至修空性啊、立断啊、顿超啊、大手印等等，就会比较正确，比较可是如果说我们直接修这些所谓比较高阶层的法门的话，空性啊、立断、顿超啊、大手印等等，那可能不知道什么是应做，什么不应做，什么是善的，那这就会很危险。所以我们修最根本的低阶的法门是最高深的，因为他们是高层的这个基础。 第15计，无比气脉修炼不成佛。这个比指的就是皈依啊、发菩提心等等啊，没有这些根本的这些基础是不可能修炼高层次的，我们也不可能得到成就。我们知道三皈依是修别解脱戒乘的这个根本，发菩提心是修菩萨乘的根本，那个灌顶是修持密咒乘的这个根本。所以如果我们没有经过这些步骤，只是直接去修那若六法的话，那我们也不可能成就成佛的。我们必须要根本入门的这些修持作为给我们一个比较稳固的这个基础，然后呢才能够修比较高层次的这个修持，没有这些根本的修持是不可能成就的。所以说无比气脉修炼不成佛，没有这些根本的这些，然后气脉的修炼也不可能成就，我们不可能证悟。
Like 17 was your verses.
16是为佛所教邪修持。
The Buddha's words are misconception. So what it means here is usually when you practice the mantrayana on the path of mantrayana practice, we might have many different kind of experiences. For example, even the Gampopa, when he came to practice with the Milarepa, the Lord Gampopa, when he was doing the practice, after receiving the instructions and teachings and so forth, he might have a vision of seeing the vision of the like Buddhas and many different kind of deities and so forth. And sometimes like we feel that like we might be something different from other people because I'm having a very different kind of experience. And these kind of egos and so forth comes about. And what Lord, if that is the relation, if that has a relation with what the Buddha's teaching, then it is right. If it's not related to what the Buddha stated, then whatever the experience you have might have the problem because it's not related with the Buddha's teachings or Buddha's like teachings. So what it means is like when you are having like kind of if you practice, which is then what is the point of having a right method or right point of how to have the right point of practice and the experience and the result. Then Lord Jitendra Swami stated that we have to practice according to what the Buddha has stated. And if you practice according to what the Buddha has stated, then it will come according to the teachings, then it will come the result, experience according to that. And because of that experiences and practice, you will have realization, which is related to that, according to that. And because of that, then you will have a liberation, you will have liberation, and also like you will able to achieve the state of all-knowing Buddhahood. Otherwise, without having this, if your path is mistaken, then you are bound to have a mistaken experience. And if you have a mistaken experience, then you will never reach to such ultimate realization and all-knowing Buddhahood, the state of Buddhahood. That's why on the 16th, he stated that experiences that contradicts the Buddha's words are misconception. Last one.
第16计是为佛所教邪修持。那么当我们在修密咒乘的时候，这个可能会有不人的修持可能的过程可能有不同的这个经验。当年这个冈波巴大师在拜弥勒巴祖师为师之后，他的修行过程当中看到种种诸佛的这个境界啊，看到本尊等等呢，那如果跟其他人的经验来比的话，可能会觉得是说我的修持比较高，有看到这么多的佛菩诸佛啊本尊等等，这是很危险的。 的。那我们要检视的是什么？如果我们修持跟佛陀的法教有关，这当然很好。但是在修行的过程当中，如果体验到跟佛陀法教没有关联的，这就是有问题的。那我们在修行的时候，我们应该要了解如何才是来正确的来修持，所以我们应该依照佛陀所教的来修持。那么我们如果能够好好的依照佛陀法教来修持，可以获得有相关的这种证悟，然后了知，并且甚至到最后能够证得全知的佛果。但是我们如果修行的道路偏颇的话，我们修行过程的这个经验也会有偏颇，那就不可能证到一个全知的佛果。
One must know all the verses 17. One must know all the
17偈，应知一切密意皆无为。
Usually, like the Sutra and Tantra, the teachings of the Buddhas are many. In time and situation, this differs, and also they altogether there are 84,000 heaps of doctrine, and these all, like some scholars, they say that these are all taught according to the different disposition of the mental status of the disciple, and it's not possible that all these the teachings of the Buddha can come to one integration, come to one kind of point of the single intention. It's not possible to have that single intention, but because these are all taught to the different mental disposition of the sentient beings, so it is different. So whereas the Lord Jigten here stated that if you have this is the misconceptions. Actually, the teachings of all the Buddha to come into the same point and have to have the single intention. It may be differs by the words or the explanation, but somehow the meaning of it, if you look deeper into the meaning, these are all actually to benefit the sentient beings and to bring all sentient beings up to such one destination, that is the Buddhahood. So whenever we come to the point of the understanding that whatever the Buddha teach, whatever the different kind of teachings he did, it has all the same essence of the same essence or the one intention of the Buddha to bring all these sentient beings to the Buddhahood or higher stages, and then up to and ultimately to the Buddhahood. Then whenever we have this kind of understanding, then that means we have understood the essence, the teachings of the Buddha. Otherwise, we're not. So therefore, the Buddha stated that, Lord Jigten stated that one must know all the Buddha's viewpoint to be without contradictions. There shouldn't be any contradictions. There's no contradiction at all, because these are all actually trying to bring the skillful ways or means to bring the sentient beings to the path of the enlightenment. Vasudha.
第17偈，应知一切密意皆无为。那我们不管是说经教或者是密续呢，也在佛陀的那个时代是因时因地而说的，总共有84000法门。那这是应对的不同根器的弟子而说的。那所以有一些学者的看法，他们的见解就是说，不可能把这些84000法门统整在一个唯一的一个单一的这个意念。这个意识，因为他们是不同的法门。那吉天松公祖师就否定这种看法，并认为一切佛陀所教的只有他们的意识呢都是相同的，或许在他们解释的这个方面有不同的善巧，但是它的意义最主要就是要能够利益众生，这是唯一的一个目的地，就是如何带领众生能够趋向佛果，所以这个是唯一的意义。那这就是佛意，就是引领众生到更深的这个佛果。那我们要了解，对这个要有了解，才能够 证得佛果，所以我们应该了解佛的这个意义，彼此即使在不同时不同地对不同根器的弟子来说不同的法，彼此的意义是没有相违背的，那只是因为在不同的时间不同的场合有不同的善巧的说法，所以它的意义本身没有相违背的。
까나시 지나는 되게 세용와 세한되게 지난 되게 된다 지로와 담마들 지는 되게 말에 까나시 지나는 되게 세 대송을
第
18计，应取非相以知如法觉。
Are not according to instruction, but arise according to the Buddha's words. And what it means here is, usually there are some scholars or we have like experts saying that all the like important instructions are not clear in the Buddha's word. So therefore, sometimes it's very important to take an instructions from one's own guru or teacher. And here, what Lord Jigten stated is that there are two things coming up. One is in order to clarify the one's own obstructions, and also one is that in order to flourish or to develop one's practice. So when these two things comes, usually people say that all the instructions are not clear in the teachings of the Buddha. We have to follow the particular masters who would give us the teachings for the particular obstacles or whatever. So therefore, Lord Jigten stated that there are two kinds of teacher coming. One is the authentic teacher who really have the understanding of the Buddha's teachings and which is related to the Buddha's teachings. But there are some other teachers, instructions giving, who has a not authentic practice, who don't have the authentic experience. And these kind of teachers may lead you to the problem. So therefore, it is very important to rely upon the Buddha's words. It has to be according to the Buddha's word, arise according to the Buddha's words, because we are not really sure what kind of master you're going to face or you're going to meet it. And therefore, one has to follow to the Buddha's words. That's why the Jigten stated that the result of practice are not according to the instructions, but also according to the Buddha's word.
那第18计，应取非相之以知如法觉。那这过去当时有一些学者专家就讲，重要的法觉，在佛陀说起来呢，他并没有讲得很清楚，所以我们应该要遵从上师的这个法教。那吉田松公主是对于我们这个修行这个有两种方式，一个就是我们要了解这个过程当中的这个障碍这个点，那第二个就是说如何修行，然后才能够证悟。那我们要依循的老师也有两种，一个所谓的具格的上师呢，他了解佛陀所讲的意义，并且这个本身有修行的经验。那另外一种呢是不具格的呢，就是他没有相对的这个经验。所以因为我们不知道我们会遇到什么样的老师，所以我们的修行应该都是根本上是要遵循佛陀的言教来做的，这样才不会走偏了。
Then Matope thing in the Sundusana, Tapeche, Namto, Jaqua, Tamche Pangane, Mevachane, Namto Jemeva Nanjin, Chandria, Tendegi things in Tela Matope things in Sumudoa. That thing do Tendegi thing in the Sumbotella, Kesi, Shembachewa ina, Dewala Chawachewa, Sarwegi things in Zimbachewa. That Tendechi, Chawatan Zimbala soba Jeswa ina. Tela Junche things in Seger. That under Kong the shape things in the Sumbo Tendela, Shemba Machiwaina, Tela German things in Sungurita. The Indu Tene Kashegi Karasungus, that Tendegi German things in Sumbo de, that Chaja Chimbo Topa Ranges, Chaching Topas, and that Tela Haji Yomari Tagarang, that Chaja Chimbo Nelu Topares, and Tende, Modern and Kentan, some not Tanketende, Yugi Usare. When I'm not to Rapatamje Panga, I'm not to Kayameva Chugu, Chasang, a dot sandu, someone wrote that Tendegi, and Shemba Jenkin, Tende, young de Serva. Teaching engineers from what tell somebody. Jun Yubet things in Yina Yindain. Jun maybe things in Sumbo Tegi young, comes from Korwala Jigmatobe, Korwan and Tariag Juchi Tumares, Korwan Targu Yuna, Phantom Gure, Sumburda. The Indusane, Jimmy things in Sumbote, Jedantani Jury Chigus or Shene going to Koranshing Chayungurte, Yam Sumbote, in a Tela Shemba Majin Tadung, Lamala Mugutang, Energy Dangatang, or that Tegi, Jambala Tene, Doyundusane, then Namjikitsana, and simple Nelu, that charger chamber, Musum Tongyuri, Tindusane, then a Tendeg and Nelu Ton Somaina. Tan Korania tend to Tandu Yure, somebody teach you Zane, Shine, some Jura Chewaina, Tela Hansayas K. Mares, Tin Korwag Jures at Tembare.
Here, the 19 words of verses. Faultless meditative concentration is the cause of three relations.
不动等持三界轮回因。
What it means is when we practice about the Charchen, and in terms of the practice of Charja Chimbo, the Mahamudra, and when we talk about the calm abiding, the Shine or calm abiding, in terms of calm abiding, there are the calm abiding, the concentration, which comes with the faults and which is the free of fault. And there are three kinds of the calm abiding. One is like when we become so peace and happiness. And this is one thing. And the second is like kind of the clarity. When we have a clarity, the concentration of clarity, then even if you go into the darkness without having light, one could be able to see clearly, and this kind of thing. And like another one is like the third one is the non-conceptual meditative equipoise. So these three are the three different kinds of the calm abiding. And it is stated that if you attach to this kind of like these three, then this is known as the fault associated with the fault calm abiding. If it is not associated with the like attachment to these three, or if you don't have the clinging to these three, then this is known as the non-fault, without the fault, the calm abiding without the fault. And sometimes what the people say is, some practitioners say, if you have these three qualities, these three kind of the calm abiding, then they stated that you are like kind of, you have attained the highest stage, or you have attained the Dhammakaya and so forth and so on. Whereas the Lord Jitendra Swami stated that these three, even if it is without the fault, will not help you to to free yourself from this cyclical existence, unless it was associated with the practice of the vipassana, the bhakti, and the practice of the mahamudra in its ultimate state. Otherwise, even having like a faultless vipassana, of course, the vipassana, the three kind of vipassana with the fault will take you to the cyclical existence, of course, because the faultless, which is without the fault, can also take you to the samsaric villains, unless these were associated, these three practice, the faultless practice, which is free from the fault, is associated with the practice of the vipassana or the bhakti. Then if you have a proper practice of the bhakti, then only it can lead you out of that samsaric flames. That's all.
那么接下来就是这19计。那这边19计是不动等持三界轮回因。那在这边呢，指的是说我们对，刚刚之前有犯错的地方，他讲 Jack Chance 指的是大手印，而不是说立断或顿超。所以在这个我们这个如果只修这个止或者修定，没有修大手印的话，那这个是不够的。那我们在修止或修定的时候，这种不动的等持有3个特质会出现，3种境界会出现。一个就是非常的祥和，非常的安乐清安。第二个是非常清明的觉知，即使在黑暗中可以很清楚的看到周围的一些东西。第三个是无念禅定的这种等持状态。这个修定的时候，如果没有这3个境界产生的话，那就是这个定境是有误的。那如果对这种的境界呢有执着，这也是有过的。所以如果没有执着的话，就是无过的这种修定，那可以帮助我们达到最高的这个境界跟佛果。那如果说但是吉田松光祖师的讲法是，如果这3个境界修定的3个境界出现的话，那即使是无过，也不可能让我们修证得佛果。我们必须要配合内观以及大手印，才能证得最高的这个境界。那么所以我们这个更不用讲说有过患的修止了。所以呢，我们就是无论我们的修定是有过患或无过患，我们要配合这个内观以及这个大手印，才能够帮助我们脱离轮回。那现在就是来回向。以此功德得证一切见，击败一切过患之敌众，生老病死杂乱诸波涛，轮回大海，愿度诸众生。祈求上师归体圣妙康，祈求尊生寿命极久长，祈求事业其志圆满胜，愿得无离上师其加持。犹如文殊勇士大智慧，复次普贤菩萨如是行，随喜彼等一切我学习此功德等一切尽回向。佛陀三身得正之加持，法性不变真谛之加持，深切坚固聚集之加持，如是回向其愿，愿成就。以我以及一切有情众，三世所积善业以佛性，愿我与等虚空诸众生，速证无上正等觉妙宝。所知遍照遍智法之尊，缘起界处自在之功八，能千八之教法遍有记，讲修愿由闻思修持之。殊胜菩提心妙宝，未生其者愿生其，已生者亦不退失，其愿辗转更增上。
So now, thank you.
好，我们今天就讲到这里，那各位下个礼拜见。那我们就是下个礼拜二早上同样时间，加州时间是7点半，亚洲时间10点半，再见。